Boom. I'm still waiting for my replacement Fitbit in the mail to come, so I'm trying to keep a good eye on the time, but it's much harder when it's not on my wrist. But I think this will do. Okay. There we are. Okay, when you're ready, we're gonna start laying down today. So find your way to your yoga mat. If you have yoga blocks, make sure that you have at least one of them about halfway up your mat. If you want to have a pillow under your head or a blanket or any other props for extra comfort, I highly recommend it. So maybe starting in Shavasana with your arms and legs outstretched, or maybe constructive rest pose, bending your knees, standing your feet up a little wider, and then letting your knees rest together at the center. Any arm variations that feel nice are welcome. Maybe you rest your head in your hands or wrap your arms around yourself. So many options to explore. Settling in and maybe closing down your eyes. You might physically take a sigh, breathing in through your nose and sighing out of your mouth. Maybe you play around with creating the sensation of sighing with your body, kind of like a wave of release. You can add a little bit of sound to the sighs if you'd like, or even hum or sustain a humming note. There are lots of different ways to clear the slate. Start getting back into the physical body and tying your mind and body together. So noticing your breath, becoming more and more interested in the comings and goings of each breath. If it's possible to breathe just through your nose, finding proper oral posture with your lips sealed and your tongue pressing up onto the roof of your mouth, gently resting. If it's hard to breathe through your nose, just do your best to still take deep breaths in your own way. Playing with the edges of the lungs, kind of metaphorically speaking, like breathing in and seeing where you start to feel full. Do you have more space to continue an inhale comfortably? Exploring those outer edges and letting your exhale bring you more peace and relaxation. Checking in with any areas of your body that feel tense or maybe feel sore, and giving that loving attention there, maybe softening or trying a bit of tense and release. Some of those difficult areas of tension sometimes need a little extra coaxing, so kind of squeezing the muscles around the area for a little while and then releasing sometimes can create more of a sense of relief. And while you're here breathing, feel free to bring an intention to mind if you'd like one for today's practice. You are welcome to bring your own intention, or if you need a suggestion, perhaps today we intend to take things in an easeful way. The path of least resistance. It can be fun to explore that concept through movement. Path of least resistance. And let's take 3 clearing breaths now. We'll take a ha breath with the exhale. So we're inhaling through the nose. Sigh, making that ha sound on the way out. 3 times through. Go ahead and explore. Eventually coming back to a steady pace of breath, little to no effort. And begin with a little wiggle of your fingers and toes. Circle ankles and wrists. Maybe letting your head roll from side to side. Eventually making your way into a long body stretch. Straightening arms and legs and reaching. All right. If you have any props beneath you, we'll move those to the side for now. Let's go through our breathing bridge pose a couple of times. So we're standing the feet up here, knees are bent. Grab your block if you have one and place it between your knees. This will just give us a little more feedback here and help to keep our knees aligned. We'll press the hands and elbows down into the mat. Tuck your shoulder blades in behind you. I like to pick up all the toes, spread them out, set them right back down so you have a nice solid base. With an inhale, lift the pelvis, reaching the hip points high. And exhale to lower back down. If you had any discomfort in your knees, maybe trying to toe heel your feet a little closer or wider or up toward the top of your mat. Let's do it again. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Just working with your breath for a couple more rounds. Inhaling as you lift. Exhaling as you lower. Now you're welcome to continue as is or try a couple of variations. First variation will be to, with the hips down on the ground here or the pelvis down on the ground, to lift your toes so you're on your heels. So we're just gonna press up through the heels this time. Inhale as you rise. Exhale as you lower. And notice any of those little wobbles that come along or making friends with the wobbles. Sounds like, is that a kids group or is that the Wiggles? All right, one last variation if you'd like to explore. We'll put the toes down. This time we'll lift up the heels so we're just on the ball of each foot. Inhaling, rising up. Exhaling to lower. Maybe just 1 or 2 more times, taking the variations of your choosing. And eventually setting your heels down, grabbing onto that block, and then once more lifting up the pelvis just enough to slide your block on the lowest setting, the flattest setting, right below the sacrum. So if you touch your hip points, the pointy parts here of the hips, and you draw a line down your sides, that's about where the block should start. The rest should go down you know, kind of by the glutes. And of course, everyone's a little different, so if that's not quite right, you can adjust and adjust as much as you need to. This is supported bridge now, so maybe just bring your arms out by your sides, or you can keep them down on the mat. We're just finding some comfort here. We're getting a little bit of an incline sensation, so if you do have congestion or anything today, and this incline is making it worse, you can always come right down anytime. Okay. And we're just hanging out here for a couple more breaths. If you feel that you might want to explore a higher setting, maybe you turn the block to the medium setting. This one kind of takes a little more finesse to get it in a spot that feels good and supportive, but it's up to you to find that place. Just a couple more breaths. And if you were up on a higher setting, let's come back down to the lowest setting on the blocks and start to let your right leg go straight. So we're gonna keep the heel on the ground, letting your right leg go long. And you might start to feel a nice amount of opening, kind of a passive opening through that right hip, the front of the right hip and the hip flexors there. You can stay like so, or turn this into a little bit of a side bend. So we'll reach the arms up and overhead, grab hold of the right arm or wrist, and direct your upper body slightly to the left. So we're creating more space and length now through the right side of the body. Option now to move the right heel a little bit more toward the left. So we're creating that banana shape through the body, feet and hands reaching to the left, focusing on that expansion and side bend through the right side. Two more breaths. And start to think about switching sides. So we're coming back to the center. We'll bend the right knee. This time, start to straighten that left leg and just hang out there first before adding on the side bend. You can keep your knee as bent as you need to if you feel tightness or discomfort there through that left side or hip. Otherwise, we're just kind of letting things flow. You could kind of rock your foot side to side, or just, you know, work on that opening sensation through the left hip now. And as you're ready, we'll take a little banana pose toward the right. So grabbing hold of the left arm or wrist and pulling the upper body gently to the right. And then sliding your left heel toward the right side as well. Taking it easy. Path of least resistance here. Creating a sense of length from the left hip all the way up to the left armpit, especially. Just about two more breaths. And start to make your way back to the center, bending both knees now. Let's lift the hips just enough to slide that block out from underneath you, and then slowly bring the spine and pelvis back down to the mat. And pull your knees in toward your chest. Massage out that area that the block was just beneath. Circling your knees a bit. Together or separately. Rocking some weight around. Very nice. Okay. We're gonna keep on this kind of slow pace for a bit longer. When you're ready, we'll bring the feet back down to the floor. Let's turn onto the right side. So we're kind of coming to the fetal position here, except the right arm is going to be straight out to the right side, knees a little bit bent here, and then left hand stacking on top of your right. If this doesn't feel great on the knees, you could grab a little something to put between your knees. All about that extra comfort where you can get it. So left hand stacks on top of the right. Reach your left fingertips farther than your right fingertips, feeling some opening, some stretching, some widening between the shoulder blades. And then retract that hand. So left hand slides across your right arm, taking it slow across your collarbones, and eventually your version of all the way open. Maybe that left arm stops in the air. Maybe you can reach the ground. It's less about the destination. It's all about the journey on this one. You can rest here in an open arm twist for a while. And then experiment with closing and opening a few more times. So bend your left elbow, bring your left fingertips to your left shoulder, slide across the collarbones, and then all the way down your right arm till your hands meet again. Go ahead and continue this opening and closing movement as many times as you'd like. And try to move like you're just waking up in the middle of the night and switching positions. You're not too worried about what's going on here. We're moving slow. Your head can just kind of follow along, possibly when the arms are open, maybe your gaze goes to that left hand or left arm. Next time you're in an open arm twist, arms out wide, go ahead and just stay there. And we'll start to switch sides. If you have something between the knees, maybe you can try to keep it there as you turn onto your back and then right onto your left side. Left arm reaching straight out to the left side now as we stack the right hand on top. Reach the left fingertips beyond the left, the right fingertips beyond the left, so you find that opening and stretching between your shoulder blades. Reach and retract. Right hand sliding across your left arm, across your collarbones, and all the way open. Take your time enjoying each part of this opening and closing experiment. This, of course, is one of my favorite movements borrowed from the Feldenkrais method. Opening and closing at your own pace now. And becoming more aware of what your shoulder blades are doing in the process. We know that when the arms are out wide, our shoulder blades are hugging together. And then when we close the arms back up and reach through the right arm, the shoulder blades are spreading out. So this is a great move to do. I really like to do this one before bed. Great one to do from bed. You don't really need your yoga mat or anything. And then next time you're in an open arm twist, just pausing there for a couple of breaths. And then go ahead and close it back up and then press your way up to a tabletop position. So hands and knees, hands below the wrists, knees below the shoulders. With your inhale, find your cow pose, lowering your belly, lifting your tailbone and your gaze. Exhale, round your spine, hugging the navel in as you tuck your chin and tailbone, pressing the air out. Cat pose. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Keep flowing with your own breath now. Take any detours or add-ons that you'd like. When you've had enough, let's find our way to extended child's pose with your knees out wide, big toes touching behind you, sinking on into your favorite variation. Forearms could find the floor, or reaching your hands way up toward the top of your mat. One more breath, enjoying child's pose. All right, come on up to tabletop. Grab your blocks if you have them. We will get into our first downward facing dog. So fingers spread out wide, whether they're on the floor or the blocks, curling your toes under. Lift the knees and the tailbone high. First and foremost, find your breath. Inhale. Sigh it out. Inhale, rise up to your tippy toes. Exhale, lower. Let's do it again. Inhale, rising to the tippy toes. Exhale, lower. Inhale, roll forward. Come to your high plank. Shoulders over wrist. Exhale, lower your right knee only down to the floor. Breathe like normal. We're going to find side plank here. So let's use the right leg as a kickstand. So your right foot will come off of the mat here. Right hand stays on your block. And then open your left arm up. The left foot there comes about parallel to the back of your mat. Side plank. Try to push through that right shoulder. So you're staying very lifted and active. Core is engaged. Left fingertips reaching high toward the sky. And exhale. Let's find our long body stretch here, side body stretch. The left arm goes high, up, overhead. Kind of pushing that left hip forward and opening the armpit up toward the sky. Take a couple breaths exploring if there's any movement, maybe circling that top arm or wiggling fingers. And then bring that left hand back down to the floor. Step your right foot back to meet your left in your high plank for just one breath in. And exhale, left knee lowers this time. Let's find side plank on the left, so left foot spinning off of the mat, right foot finding the floor. Open that right arm up toward the sky, side plank. Maybe rotate your right wrist a little bit here. You might kind of let your head find a little bit of movement, sinking your left ear toward your left shoulder. And let's take the right hand up and overhead. That right hip forward, opening the right armpit up toward the sky, almost like an upward twist. Take a few moments to add on any movement. Maybe a circle of your top arm there, or more wiggling of the fingers. One more breath in and out. Bring that right hand back down to the blocks. We're on both knees now. Let's tuck the toes under, lift up your knees, and just walk your feet up toward the top of your mat. So you end up in a forward fold at the top. Let's find a wide-legged forward fold. So we're going to toe heel the feet out nice and wide. I like to have my blocks here underneath my hands, just starting on the highest setting. Toe heel your feet out as wide as you want. Maybe bend into one knee and then the other. Straightening, bending opposite knees a couple times, stretching the inner legs. And you're welcome to stay here, continuing this movement, or find your forward fold. Your hands could stay on the blocks, or if they can comfortably reach the floor, you might go there. Another option is to grab opposite elbows, finding a little bit of swaying movement. Keep breathing. We've got 2 more breaths here. With an inhale, let's find a halfway lift position so the spine is long. Exhale, fold, bending your knees. Inhale, start to make your way to stand. So we're going to toe heel the feet together and then continue that rising motion slowly to the top. At the top, let's let out some movement, some shaking, some bouncing, maybe lifting and lowering the heels a couple of times as you get your arms swinging and moving. Maybe there's some other free movement or shaking or wiggling that comes to mind. We're just getting the circulation going. We're releasing any stuck or stagnant energy. Sometimes this is my favorite part. Okay, come on up to the top of your mat here. Let's find a little bit of a flow. We'll keep it simple. With an inhale, let's sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step just the right foot back and lower your right knee to the mat. Right toes can stay tucked under or flatten the top of your foot down to the mat. With an inhale, let's sweep the arms up, taking a couple moments to notice what the pelvis is doing here. Sometimes we have the pelvis kind of tipping backwards. If that's the case, let's try to find more of a neutral pelvis by tucking the tailbone just a little bit. So sometimes people have like an extra tuck of the tailbone. So just find where you're at, feeling your hips, and see what feels kind of like a neutral pelvis to you. And then again, inhale to reach the hands up and overhead. Interlace your fingers except for your pointer fingers and thumbs. So you're creating that Charlie's Angels look with the hands. With an exhale, just a little back bend. So squeeze the glutes and draw a line with the fingers up and overhead. Just a little bit here. Inhale, pointing back up, coming out of the back bend. Exhale, little back bend, just a couple inches. Inhale, come back up to center. This time we're exhaling with an open arm twist toward the right. Let's stay here. Inhale and exhale. One more breath in and breath out, bringing hands to blocks or the floor. Tuck your right toes under, and we're gonna go right to three-legged down dog. So we're lifting the right knee and then sending that left foot back. Three-legged down dog. Inhale, rise up to the right tippy toes. Exhale, lower the right heel. One more time. Inhale, coming up to the right tippy toes. Exhale, step just the left foot forward. Swivel your back heel down to the floor in preparation for warrior two. Inhale, rise up, warrior two. And we're here for a couple of breaths. Press into the pinky edges of both feet, stabilizing through the entire foot. Gaze beyond your left middle finger. Breathing in and out. One more breath in and out. With an inhale, straighten that right or the left leg. Let's find triangle pose. We'll reach the left arm forward first and then down, either holding onto your shin or grabbing a block to rest your left hand on. Both legs are straight, right hand reaches high. Triangle pose. If it feels too crunchy, go ahead and use both blocks. The bottom block can be on the lowest setting, the top block can be on the highest setting, and you really get a lot more space to work with. If that's not enough, you might shorten the stance between your feet. One more breath in and breath out. Lower the right hand down. Spin on the back toes, so all of your toes face the top side of your mat. Step your right foot forward to meet the left at the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bring your hands to the blocks. Let's step just the left foot back and lower your left knee down to the mat. Either keeping the left toes tucked under or flattening the top of your foot. Inhale as you rise up, checking in with the pelvis, finding a neutral pelvis here. When you're ready, we're bringing the hands together in that Charlie's Angel grip, pointing up. Exhale, little back bend, drawing a line on the ceiling, keeping that left glute engaged a lot. Inhale, come back up to the center. Exhale, baby back bend. Inhale, come back up to the center. And exhale, open arm twist toward the right. We've got 2 breaths. We're inhaling and exhaling. One last breath in. Breath out. Bring your hands to your blocks. Let's pick up the left knee and step the right foot right back to our three-legged down dog. Right toes up behind you. Inhale, rise up to the tippy toes on that left foot. Exhale, lower the left heel. One more time. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, step just the right foot forward. Spin your left heel to the floor, preparing for warrior two. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, right here in your warrior. Couple breaths. Feel your strength. Gaze beyond that right middle finger. One more breath in and out. Let's make our way to triangle. Straighten that right knee. Reach forward first and then tipping forward. That right hand either coming to the shin, or creating that nice little block support for the right hand, reaching the left arm high, taking a couple moments to find if there's a little moment to enjoy here in triangle, Trikonasana. One more breath in and out. Lower that left hand down and spin all of the toes to face the top of your space. But then with your next breath, lower both knees down to the floor. We're coming to a seat. The legs will come out in front of us. And we'll find our little balancing pose, cosmic egg. So knees will be bent here. You have the option to bring a block between your knees if you want. I don't like that option, but everyone's different, you know? So grabbing hold of your shins or behind your thighs. Puff your chest up so you're creating a nice long spine. Lengthening through the crown of the head, shoulders rolling down the back. Start to lean back slightly as you lift one foot and then the other, finding this balancing point right behind the sitting bones. And you're already here in this cosmic egg. You're welcome to stay or create more challenge by intentionally rocking, kind of destabilizing yourself, and then trying to stop and become still again. You could turn this into a boat pose by releasing your arms, maybe lengthening the legs out as well. You can try a little of both, and whenever you've had enough of this, we're heading down to the floor. So you can make it a challenge and go slow. Maybe take a couple of times back up and down if you want a little bit of a core challenge here. Otherwise, eventually making your way down to your back. Take your time. And then upon arrival, maybe taking a couple of clearing breaths. If you'd like to get right into your final rest, now's a good entry point. If you want just a little more twist here, we'll do that before we close. So if you're up for a little more twisting, let's stand the feet up. Tuck the tailbone under so your low back is flat to the mat. Then toe heel your feet out just a little wider. Start to let your knees twist over toward the right in a windshield wiper-like motion. And then back up and over to the left. So just go ahead and do that back and forth. Maybe turning your gaze in the opposite direction of your knees. So when your knees twist to the left, gaze would go to the right. If there are any last poses, movements, or stretches that your body is wanting or needing before your final rest, go ahead and take good care of yourself. When you are ready for your final rest, choose a position. Could be how you started today in Shavasana or constructive rest pose, or you could head to a wall or a chair and put your legs up on the seat or up the wall. You can grab a blanket or a pillow. Taking as long as you need, settling in. tending to anything that comes up here before finding stillness. And I will begin to name parts of the body in a very specific way. And as I do, maybe you just send your awareness to each area, or maybe you can kind of consider the touch of awareness like a blessing or check-in. But it can be very passive. It's very normal to kind of come in and out of focus on the parts of the body that I'm saying. So try not to be too hard on yourself. Just come back to the words, the areas of the body whenever you can. So starting with the root of the tongue, awareness at the root of the tongue, tip of the tongue, lower row of teeth and gums, upper row of teeth and gums, lower lip, upper lip, right part of your jaw, left part of your jaw, right cheek, left cheek, both cheeks together, right nostril, left nostril, air entering both nostrils, right eye, left eye, third eye center, eyebrows, right temple, left temple, forehead, hairline, top of your head, your crown, right side of your head, left side of your head, deep in the center of your head, back side of your head, right where your skull or the cranium meets your spine, base of the neck, throat, right shoulder and shoulder blade, left shoulder and shoulder blade, right arm, right elbow, right wrist, palm of your right hand, back of your right hand, each and every fingertip on your right hand. Sweeping awareness up and over to the left arm, left elbow, left wrist, palm of your hand, back of your hand, each and every fingertip on your left hand. Left armpit, right armpit, right side, left side, all the way up and down your spine, the right side of your back, the left side of your back, spine at the center. Right chest, left chest, navel center, right hip, right glute, left glute, left hip, entire pelvis, right thigh, right knee, right calf, right ankle, top of your foot, bottom of your foot, each and every toe on your right foot. Sweeping awareness up and over to the left thigh, left knee, left calf and shin, left ankle, top of your foot, bottom of your foot, each and every toe on your left foot, both feet, both legs, entire pelvis, entire torso, both arms together, neck and head together, back side of the body, front side of the body, inside, outside, resting here. Take a nice full breath in and out. And begin to wiggle fingers and toes. Slowly creating a little more movement, maybe circling ankles and wrists, or rocking your head side to side. Maybe yawning, or a long body stretch. Continue reawakening in your own way, eventually choosing a side and rolling onto that side, coming to the fetal position. Let's take a couple of breaths in the fetal position with a longer meditation. We just want to mind the transition back to being upright. Eventually using the help of your hands to press your way up to a comfortable seat. Let's join hands at heart center, closing down the eyes, or just turning your gaze toward the floor. Om Bolo Shri Satguru Bhagavan Ki Jai. The greatest teacher of them all lies within. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace in our actions, peace in our words, peace in our thoughts. Bringing thumbs up to third eye center now. Let's close our practice together with a little bow forward. Gratitude now. Peace. Thank you everyone for joining today's practice. Let me know if you have any thoughts or requests for future classes. As always, feel free to unmute and say a quick goodbye.